Hey sister cousins, welcome to my channel. I'm Lady C, and today I really have an attitude and I just want to get it off my chest. Alright girl, let's go ahead and talk about Mayfair Witches. I just don't feel like I care about some of these characters enough to feel invested or to feel some sort of attachment. I'm not going to bring up that other show, but it was very easy for them, even if the role was short or even if their life was very short-lived on the show, I cared about them just a tiny bit. And I had a little bit of context to who they are so that I can progress and move along with the show. So we open up and there's a witch by the name of Gifford. Gifford, I'm assuming, is gifted with the cards. She keeps pulling cards, but every card she pulls are negative. She happens to be on the phone with someone. Who is that person? I don't know, because we don't have enough context, okay? This person happens to say that she is not the most reliable source to read the cards after she expressed her concerns about the cards that she was pulling. So it's just like, okay girl, who is this person on the phone? Why are you not reliable with the cards? What happened that even put that in perspective? And why are we supposed to care about you, girl? Now, we're on Ro. Ro, girl, she is 2 strands of hair and a pack of cigarettes away from losing her mind, right? She gets downstairs in the basement and realizes Lasher is gone and all he left behind was a carton of milk. She gets a phone call and it's Lark. And I just want to talk about Lark real quick. Girl, why are y'all trying to make fetch happen with Lark? I don't get it, but it's fine. Lark calls Ro up like, girl, I got the DNA, but it came back inconclusive, so what you want me to do? And she's like, well, run it up again. Let's fire up another test and see, you know, if we can find some other matches or whatever. And he's like, okay, girl, but what am I doing all of this for? Like, girl, you're not giving me anything. And she's like, girl, this is my project. And I'm just like, girl, what? Can you, you got this man out here really trying to find something for you, and you're not giving this man any type of direction of where to go so that he can better help you, girl. Where the fuck is Lash? Okay? Lash is in some random person's house putting on clothes, and I thought he was at Uncle Court's house, but apparently he's not, because he's looking out his window at who? Gifford. And I'm like, is he in Gifford's house? Is he in a neighbor's house? Like, where is he? Like, girl. So, girl, he go down to the docks and he chatted up with Gifford. And once again, very cringe interaction. But somehow, I guess the Mayfair women love cringe. They adore cringe. Cringe makes them hot in the ass. I don't know, girl, but it is cringy to watch him actually spit zero game, and somehow that works for them. Girl, I just got a mad attitude right now. I am just irritated because it's like, girl, none of this makes sense to me. But I'm going to keep going because that's what I came for. He gets to asking her questions and, you know, weird interaction, but somehow they end up hunching, okay? And I'm just like, that's it? You ain't even give a little foreplay a little bit to get us, you know, hot and bothered to make it. None of this is sexy to me. I'm not feeling hot in the ass. I just can't. And I fool with you, Jack, but you're not even looking sexy to me right now. You understand how frustrating that is? I was rooting for you, Jack.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this.
It actually shows that she wasn't, like, taken away from us by force. He really didn't do anything to take her life. You know what I'm saying? I just want to pause for a hot second. This feels like Spirited Away. And I'm going to tell you why. In Spirited Away, Chihiro, the main character, gets confronted by No Face. No Face is Lash. And Chihiro is Rowan. Now, Lasher when he gets in contact with these other women who give him a little bit of a shot, it seems to be like, it seems to have like a reverse effect on them. Watch the movie Spirited Away and you'll understand what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying? For those who've watched, you know what I'm saying. Girl, anyway, we lose Gifford. God rest her soul. But I don't care. That's what I'm saying. Like, I should care a little bit more about that loss. I am not invested enough. I don't even have enough context about her to really just have feelings about why she's not here anymore. But what I will say is, Uncle Court is in the sunken place. He's fighting his own demons, okay? And then he ends up in a room with this elderly man. The man don't even look too interested. Come to find out, that's his father. Girl, his father did like he could give less of a damn about their little reunion, girl. So now Ro and JoJo are in the basement discussing whether or not they should unfreeze or unstatue Uncle Court. And JoJo's like, girl, leave his ass a statue. I don't care. And Rowan is like, girl, no, I gotta, I need some answers to what's going on. And he was besties with Lasher, so it would probably be best if we go ahead and thaw him out a little bit, right? She's like, you know what? You win, JoJo. We'll figure something out. They head on over to the cousin's house, girl, Gifford, because JoJo got a phone call like, girl, she is gone to glory, girl. Come and see about your cousin. Ro and JoJo get down to Gifford's house. JoJo is talking to somebody. We don't know who that person is. I don't know if it's a detective or a cousin, third cousin once removed. I don't know who these people are. But the EMS people are taking the people who take the body to the morgue or whatever, they taking Gifford on up out of there. And Rowan can feel Lash presence. And so she's like, oh, girl, you here? Because she see a little empty carton of milk. And so it's like, oh, okay, it's some milk. So I know your big hungry ass is somewhere around here looking and lurking, right? And she go out into the woods, and girl, Lash is out there in the woods hiding. And Ro was like, girl, listen, let me help you. And he was like, girl, I don't know, because you've been acting weird. You done locked me in a basement. You done sliced me with the glass the other time. Like, I'm really not feeling like you're very trustworthy. And she was like, no, girl, like, it could be how it was. And he was like, oh, you mean we can get that old thing back? And she was like, well, no, not really. We can't really have that old thing back. But it could be a different type of vibe with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm your mama now, so, like, girl, like, what's good? And he was like, well, girl, no, I don't think so. Like, and she was like, well, girl, you was never my son, no way. Girl, throw the whole storyline away. What you mean you wasn't never my... Okay. So, I'm just so confused. Like, Rowan, girl, you are really irritating me, honey. I am losing my edges. Fooling around with your dizzy ass. On another note, Lasher says something that really stuck out to me. He mentions that the women smell so good. Now, this ain't the first time he said this. But he also said, I didn't realize that she was so weak. I thought Mayfair women were strong. And so that's what it brings me back around to that Spirited Away comment that I just made. Him getting involved or coming on to the women, the ones that succumb to his advances are the ones that are losing their life. But the ones, to me, this is just my own theory, to me, the ones that probably resist him are the ones that is solid. You know what I'm saying? I'm just because I never read the books. So I don't know what's next. And I'm glad that I don't know what's next because it allows me to, formulate theories and thoughts on what I think might happen. But that's just how I feel. That's kind of how Chihiro was in Spirited Away. She was the only one out of everybody who resisted what No Face offered, and No Face only respected or was kind of obsessed with Chihiro. And everybody else that wanted what he had to offer, which was gold, he consumed their greedy asses up. But I really feel bad for Lasher, Do you understand what I'm saying? He doesn't seem to understand what he's actually capable of. And even though this isn't driving him to stop, he's just, his body is following the direction of what's existing inside of him. And what's inside of him is a demon. And so the demon moving in him is causing all this chaos and confusion. Meanwhile, the outside exterior doesn't understand what the is going on. Like, he's clueless, so he's torn and he's sad and he feels alone, and I feel really bad for him, even though he is a demon. Is that Stockholm Syndrome, girl? Do I have Stockholm Syndrome? I don't know, girl, but I feel really bad for him today, this time, for once. But also, girl, did y'all notice the little beetle that was crawling when he had a cut on his hand and the blood changed the beetle's genetic makeup almost? Like, it changed colors and everything. So I thought that was another little nugget. Like, they be leaving nuggets. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all that. Y'all be giving us little nuggets, here's and theirs. And Sip. So last episode, girl, he was riding around and getting it like a scorned baby mom. But this time, Sip seems to have his mind right this episode, right? And you know what? An upgrade to your vehicle in your life will do that for you, okay? So thank you, Telemaska, but we still don't trust you, right? Because, girl, just because you gave us a little car keys and a few dollars and a few meals, you know, that don't mean that you off the hook, okay? Because we still know what you're capable of, all right? But we gonna ride with you because it's better to ride with you than to ride against you. So Moira is over the family and their BS, but especially her mama, Alicia. Alicia is twirling around like a schoolgirl, listening to music, blasting it up as high as it can go to avoid Moira from being able to get into her head. And Moira's like, girl, listen, I understand I got powers, but would it kill you to at least try to be close to me? And she's being dismissive, and you could just tell it irritates Moira, and she leaves the house. And while she's leaving and walking on off to wherever she's going, Sip is down the street clocking her moves and everything else. But now we skip on over to Uncle Portland. Girl, he is down in a sunken place, in a child's place, looking crazy while his father talks all type of shit about him. Girl, his father is calling him everything but a child of God. That whole interaction was just off, because you done fed that man everything on that buffet table, and now the buffet is empty, and you gonna go and cut your whole entire arm off? What? It was so disgusting watching his father actually eat it, and he was satisfied with the fact that he did it. Just a mess. So now we got Lash out in these streets looking for milk like a junkie, girl. He's out in the back alley somewhere scraping and scratching for milk, empty cartons of milk. Got people shooing him off like he a daggone street rat. I'm like, dang, Lasher, like, you was the shit in first season. Now you going outside, girl. So Aunt Millie appears while Rowan is playing Nancy Drew. She's like, girl, I told you to kill that boy. I told you. And she's like, I mean, it's not my fault. Yes, it is, Rowan. Yes, it is. It is your fault, because you know what? You ain't want to listen. When they told you down to the funeral, at your mama's funeral, girl, stay away from him. Stay away from him. They gonna say it's a gift. It's not. And here you go. And you don't even want to take any responsibility or accountability for your actions. You want to blame everybody else, okay? Lark out here running DNA tests with no clue why he's running DNA tests. You got the family shook and shaken by all of this foolishness. And now you got this demon baby child that is just running amok, girl, causing all type of chaos and confusion, girl. So, girl, she was like, and you ain't even tried to kill him yet. And she was like, well, girl, I tried to kill him. And she was like, girl, no, you didn't. No, you did not, liar. Like, Rowan, stop. Anyway, Moira is down to the cafe, chilling with her friends, and telling them that she is on the first thing smoking. She ain't passing go. She ain't collecting $200, girl. She is out of here. And Sip confronts her finally, and he's like, hey, and she's like, girl, I already clocked you. You telling Maska because I can't even read your mind right now. And so he was going to use this device that his bestie gave him, which is supposed to like make you let down your guards or something. And he was going to use this on her, but you can only use it one time. After that, it's not going to work no more. So he decided to take the scenic route and allow her into his mind, and that way she would trust him a little bit, and that worked. She ended up trusting him. They ended up having a little conversation, and per reading his mind, girl, comes to find out, she reads that he's still in love with Rowan. And she's like, well, listen, girl, I understand you in love with her and everything. And he was like, nah, I'm not in love. And she was like, girl, miss me with the BS, okay? But listen, are you here to save the family, or are you here to just save Ro? Because I need to know.
Oh, fuck the family.
So, girl, I understood that. Like, it's noted. We got Ro trying to play Storm from X-Men. And I'm like, girl, wait. What? So she's trying to bring on the Storm to try to keep Lasher at bay. And before she could get the Storm cooking up really good, here come Lark, big goofy ass. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing here, girl? And she was saying the same thing. Now listen, I may not like the fact that they're really trying to push Lark onto us, but Rowan, girl, you not off the hook. You still need to give this man some answers, all right? And I don't like how you moving. You just, like I said, I get that the supernatural is hard to process, but when you're asking someone for a favor, at best, you should be able to give a little bit of courtesy and lie to him at least. At least tell him something that will satisfy him, that will make sense. But maybe, I don't know, girl. Like, it's just irritating at this point. Because now he's here in your city. You won't invite him inside. And I get that. You won't invite him inside. You guys are walking back to his hotel. And he's just trying to get some more clues as to what you're actually asking him to do. And you're still being vague. And it's upsetting me and my homegirl.
It's upsetting me and my homegirl because we feel like, well, damn.
So while Lark is out here playing Guess Who down the street, Lash creeps into the window of Alicia's house, which is the mother of Moira. So, girl, Moira's mom is like, girl, I just knew you was coming back for me. Let me just talk about her real quick. Alicia, girl, you've always been a little jealous of the other cousins, okay? You seem so proud of Tessa when she got selected by Lasher because you liked Lasher. And now it all makes sense why you was so pressed for your kid to be selected. And it sucks that your kid ended up losing her life, but you was just too thirsty, girl. Don't nobody want nobody that's desperate. And you gotta keep that in mind. Anything you do, don't be desperate. Because that's how Alicia comes off, just desperate. She was desperate to get her daughter to be picked by Lasher. She's desperate right here, right now. And then she was so desperate, girl, she ended up losing her life too. So I'm just like, damn. That seems to be the ongoing theme with Lasher and these women. The ones, I can't say so much the other two, but just the ones that give in to the temptation end up getting consumed by their temptation. And damn, that's pretty deep. Like, that's what's happening with these women. Like, who in the hell wants to be confronted by some guy that just comes out of nowhere, just gives off all these weird vibes? And I get it. Maybe something inside of you as a Mayfair and something inside of him are drawn to each other. But you gotta be solid enough, I suppose, to resist the temptation such as Lasher. So we still over here outside the hotel playing Guess Who between Lark and Ro. Ro gets a phone call. It's JoJo. Girl, Moira done went home and found her mother unalived. And so now JoJo is over there and she's calling. She's like, girl, listen, I think it's your son / man child, girl. Ro is like, girl, yeah, it is him. Sip is over there because Moira went on ahead and called. And so Sip goes to touch Alicia's body and it shows it shows Lasher in her final moments, but I just don't feel like, I don't know if all Sip needed to see was Lasher for him to stop touching and just assume, because what seems to happen and what's assumed is two different things. Lasher doesn't like unalive these women. It happens because they hemorrhage. But when Sip in the first season saw how evil Lasher is, I think all he needed was a vision of Lasher being there, and that's all he needed. He's like, all right, yep, he did it. I don't need nothing else. I already know who did it. He's guilty. But I just don't think Sip investigated enough. I could be wrong. We'll see next episode. But so far, I just feel like Sip, you was putting the cart before the horse, and you might have been jumping to conclusions, right? But Ro panicked. She's like, girl, listen, I can't. Enough. She goes down to the basement and she unthaws out Uncle Court. And meanwhile, Uncle Court is in the sunken place, and he's like, well, see you later, Dad. I've been summoned. And the dad is like, girl, no, you're not. I don't want you to leave. He leaves anyway. Once Uncle Cortland ended up back in our world, Ro was like, listen, let's just skip all the niceties. Tell me what Lasher is up to. What is his plan? And when she realized that Uncle Court really wasn't that much help because he really doesn't know his daggone self, she was like, okay, listen, I may not be able to use you in that way, but I'm going to use you some kind of how to get the family together. So back in the other universe, Unc was not very pleased with Rowan summoning Uncle Cortland, and he doesn't seem too finished with Rowan, okay? But that's the end of that episode. I'm going to say this. Was I satisfied with the episode? If I were to give it a rating out of 10, I would give it a solid 5.75. I cannot stand when writers center a character and then the character gets to make all these careless decisions and everybody's just supposed to move mountains for this one person. It doesn't make sense to me. This is Mayfair Witches. Witches, not Mayfair Witch, not Mayfair Rowan. So I just don't like that Rowan gets to just do dumb stuff and we're all supposed to like applaud her when she does something nice. I don't like that. But, you know, off of my soapbox, I would just say this for me, was a throwaway episode. Last week was better. This week, I mean, it's getting dark, but if the darkness comes with no context, then it's just, we just in the dark and we the blind leading the blind at this point, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And as a person, as a non-book reader, I need every bit of detail that I can get without doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, like, subscribe. Let's get down in the comments and talk about it a little bit, because I don't know, girl. Like, maybe y'all might feel like I'm tripping, but I don't feel like I'm tripping. I am standing 20 toes down with this one. I'm not the biggest fan of this episode, but I'm not so much to the point where I'm ready to just throw the whole show away. I'm not going to throw the whole show away. So, girl, I guess I'll call y'all back later. Bye.